The handheld game PC market is one of the fastest evolving segments right now in all of computing. These devices are things like the Steam Deck OLED, Lenovo Legion Go, MSI Claw. They're full-blown PCs, just in a much more portable, compact package that can still play legit games. And today we're covering the latest devices, including a new version of the OneXPlayer X1. The original launched just a few months back, and we already have two pretty major product updates with it. We also have word on the next-gen Lenovo Legion Go. This was the first device with a quote-unquote large display. At the time, most devices were stuck at a 7-inch display, and the Legion pushed the boundaries all the way to 8.8 inches. That alone today isn't really a big selling point anymore, so hopefully with this refresh, the Legion Go can become a compelling option again. And the last device we're covering here today is the successor to the popular ROG Ally. Rumors indicate this will not be a huge upgrade, but potentially enough to keep it competitive in this rapidly changing marketplace. Okay, so let's jump into the product that I'm most excited about, the OneXPlayer X1. This device launched in early 2024, and I think it is the most complete handheld yet. It reminds me a lot of the Legion Go with the detachable Joy-Cons and a large display. However, they push the envelope even more with a truly massive 10.95-inch unit. This has been a controversial choice, but keep in mind that that's still smaller, if not on par with most tablets. It's still extremely portable, and ultimately, who doesn't want more screen real estate? Another innovative feature here is the Surface-style magnetic keyboard attachment. The keyboard option, plus the detachable Joy-Cons, really gives this device unmatched versatility. And being that this device is almost the size of a laptop with that 10.95-inch display, the keyboard here is full size and completely usable. But we already have two fairly major upgrades to talk about when it comes to this product. First is a new processor. So the OG launched with the Intel Core Ultra 7 just a few months ago, but they're already switching to the AMD 8840U processor instead. The reason for this is the complete incompetence of Intel as a company. I mean, just take a look at the stock price. This should paint a fairly comprehensive image of the state of the company, especially when you compare it against AMD. And we've seen reports that the Ultra 7 in the MSI Claw just isn't living up to expectations. Even though on paper the Ultra 7 is a slight upgrade over the AMD Z1 Extreme, in practice the chip delivers a worse user experience, sluggish performance, and worst in class power efficiency. And these results have been fairly typical of Intel over the past decade. AMD is currently producing better chips. The Z1 Extreme is still the gold standard, and the 8840U is just a slightly newer version of that chip. Okay, so the OneXPlayer X1 is switching from Intel to AMD chips, and the other major update is a new mini version. So for those that like what they're doing with the X1 but aren't quite ready to go to a 10.95-inch display, this new model clocks in at 8.8 inches. Interestingly, that makes this mini model the same size display as the Lenovo Legion Go, which was considered large just last year. That should be another great data point on just the direction this market is going. Now, aside from the smaller display, the rest of the unit is fairly unchanged. We still have the detachable Joy-Cons, the same exact battery capacity at 65 watt-hours, the new AMD chipset, and even the detachable keyboard accessory, it just comes in a little bit smaller. Now, since this is now in direct competition with the equal-sized Lenovo Legion Go, let's go ahead and see how they're responding with their own refresh. As of right now, we don't have that much info on the next generation of this device, aside from the name, and they're opting to call it the Legion Go Lite, potentially indicating this is not going to be a significant upgrade. So based off the name, this might just be a cheaper version of the current Legion Go. Thus, I would expect them to keep the same Z1 Extreme chipset. As mentioned, there's really just no reason to change it to something else. There is a debate in the articles I've seen on the screen size. They may opt for an even smaller display around 7 inches to help decrease the price point. However, in my opinion, I think this is highly unlikely. As we discussed, the industry as a whole is moving towards larger displays, and the 8.8-inch size of the original was one of the key selling points, and going down to 7 inches would make this a lot less unique and put it in direct competition with names like the Steam Deck, giving a lot of people few reasons to choose this model over others. Now, the final new product on this list is a 7-inch handheld, and it's the very popular ROG Ally. The name here is going to be the Ally X, and it may prove to be a more significant upgrade than the Lenovo Legion Go Lite. Everything indicates that the display size is going to remain unchanged, and thus the overall design should be fairly consistent. I gotta say that's somewhat unfortunate, but what we will get here is a general spec bump. So the battery is going to be an incredible 80 watt hours, and that should immediately make this one of the longest lasting handheld on the market, at least right now. The RAM is going from 16 to 24 gigabytes. There's going to be a new M.2 SSD clocking in at 1 terabyte. And the chipset is going to be unchanged, the Z1 Extreme. And for right now, the Z1 Extreme is still a great choice for these devices, at least until the Snapdragon X Elite becomes more widespread later this year. And I might just make a dedicated video on this topic next if you guys are interested. But that's the update. I'll leave relevant links below the video. If you guys enjoyed, I appreciate a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.